president also telling his interviewer that today that he feels fantastic? Maybe he does. He also said that as far as he's concerned, he's not contagious. He can tell. He doesn't think he is. I don't think I'm contagious at all. And now he says he will hit the campaign trail again and start traveling. Is he contagious, though? I mean, why do you think it is that the White House won't say when the president got infected? Right? They've told us when they say he got his positive test, which was Thursday night, a week ago. But they won't say when he got his last negative test before that. So we don't know if when they tested him on Thursday, he'd already been positive for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a day or 5 hours. We don't know. They won't say when his last test, his negative test was before that, which would tell us how long the president has likely been infected. Why won't they tell us about his previous negative test results? I mean, they used to tell us about his negative test results all the time. I feel like this has kind of gone down the memory hole a little bit, but look, you can find these headlines. March 14th, Trump tested negative for the coronavirus, White House physician says. And then in April 2nd, Trump again tests negative for coronavirus, White House says. And then in May 7th, Trump and Pence test negative. And then later in May, Trump on his latest coronavirus test, I tested positively toward negative, which is President Trump speak for I tested negative. The White House has been touting the president's negative COVID test results all along. They never considered it secret. They never before considered that information to be private or some kind of, HIPAA violation to announce that the president tested negative for coronavirus. They used to freely broadcast that information over a period of weeks and months. Hey, he got a negative test. He got another negative test. He got another negative test on this day. He tested negative again. They used to tell us that all the time, but now they won't say. Why do you think they won't say?
Doctor, what was the date of the president's last negative test?
I'm not going to get into all the testing going back.
Was he tested on Tuesday before he went to the debate? And then was he tested on Thursday morning before he went to New Jersey?
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a detailed readout with timestamps of every time the president's tested.
Do you remember when he had his last negative test?
I don't want to go backwards.
What was his last negative test, and what was his viral load?
I know, everyone wants that.
We don't know when his last negative test was. Will we?
Well, we don't normally get into the testing protocol for the president.
Obviously, you know when he last tested negative. Why?
I don't know when he last tested negative, and I've answered this question a number of times.
Why can't the White House say when he last tested negative?
Look, we've addressed this. We're not asking to go back through a bunch of records and look backwards.
When was President Trump last tested before his positive result?
Allison, you'll have to ask the president's team that.
I can't reveal that at this time. The doctors would like to keep it private since it's his private. My understanding is that it's his private medical history. My understanding is we're not making it public at this time.
He never kept it private before. It was never before considered to be part of his private medical history. They will not say. They were happy to say multiple times before whenever the president tested negative. Week after week, month after month, whenever he tested negative, they would tell us. But now they won't say. Now it's a secret. How long do you think he's been infected for? When do you think he actually got his last negative test? I mean, they're telling us he tested positive a week ago tonight. In the days before that, he had a rally in Minnesota. He had a fundraiser in New Jersey. He had a debate with Joe Biden in Ohio. He did a huge event at the Rose Garden where no one wore masks and nobody social distanced. He did an event with Gold Star families, families who lost a loved one in the U.S. military. He did an event with Gold Star families inside at the White House. Nobody wore masks. No one social distanced. He did all of those things in the days before the White House tells us he tested positive. Did the president bother to get tested before he did any of those events? Any of those no mask, no social distancing events? Did he? What are the odds the president was positive for all of those things? It's not an issue of small concern, in part because the president is now blaming the Gold Star families at the White House at that Sunday event before he tested positive. He's blaming the Gold Star families for having infected him, which is astonishing in its own right. right? But why is he saying that? Did the president himself test negative before that event? Isn't it possible that he was the one who was positive at that event and that he was the one potentially spreading it to them? I mean, the president's health isn't supposed to be a secret. On the issue of him testing negative for COVID, even the Trump White House has not treated that before as a secret. The bizarre secrecy about the timing of the president's infection means that what they are keeping secret from us all now is information about the president as an agent of infection himself, while he is actively, publicly blaming military families, blaming the families of America's fallen servicemen and servicewomen for having infected him. Yeah, they probably gave it to him. Put up or shut up. You're going to make an allegation like that? Prove it. When did he get his last test? Why are military families the first ones you think to blame? I didn't think things would just keep getting worse with him every day. I should have known better.